one of the things that I grew up on is the idea that if anyone is too confident, too in your face, too just too much, just like there's a culture in the UK, in England, that Americans and Canadians, North America, they're up themselves. They love themselves, and not in the good way, right? But this is actually a domestication that is very faulty. So I grew up with this, and one of the things that happened as a self-domestication that I took on myself and turned it into a parasite, a mind parasite, is that anytime I would have something to say in a group full of people, or any time that I felt good about myself and just wanted to kind of express that a little bit, I would be labelled as being too arrogant. I would be, love myself too much. And that meant that I actually loved myself a lot less than I should have all my life. But it comes with upsides too. It comes with humility. It comes with other things. So there's always good and bad sides to it. But the part that's not good is that I built a parasite around it, where I would jump to my parasite every time that I made an action or a decision. Every time I make a decision, I would go to my parasite, which says, I don't think that was the right decision. I think I just made a stupid mistake. I think that what I'm doing right now, what I'm saying, what I'm speaking, what the choice that I just made, it's crap. And the problem with this parasite stuff that we're all getting caught in as a collective, every single one of us, is that it's that conditional love that puts things in place that says, unless you do A, B, and C, you're loved. If you don't do A, B, and C, you're not loved. You're worthless. You're a loser. You're all of these other things, okay? So, simple question. Any moment, just stop and say to yourself, am I acting from my parasite, or am I acting from my ally? Now, here's what I can do with the ally, and I did it a little bit just there. So I grew up kind of degrading myself a little bit, pushing myself down into a box that fits into a humble mode, and kind of forgot a little bit about loving myself, because I didn't want to come across as big-headed. I didn't want to be someone that, just that loves themselves, and it's just the most stupid thing ever. Now, don't get me wrong, nobody likes an arrogant person. Nobody likes someone that is so far up their ass that all they think about is themselves. That's just selfishness. Nobody likes that. But on the other side, nobody can function if they're insecure, and if they don't have self-confidence, and they don't have self-love. So the way that that would be my parasite's way of framing it, is that I was taught not to love myself, and because of that, I've made stupid decisions in my life. I've not been kind to myself, and it's created all of this chaos in my being, and it means that I degrade myself a lot more than I should. Now, the way that my ally would describe this story in my past is that I grew up on very humble principles. And I learned how to care about other people just as much as I care about myself. It meant that I never took for granted what anyone else was displaying to me. It meant that I also was very careful about people that wanted to take things for themselves and not give to other people. And it also meant that I became a wise person. I became more able to determine the kinds of people that I want to be around and the kinds that I don't want to be around. Okay, let's give another example. One that I've had is that my parasite has told me for a long time. One thing that I go to in my mind very often is, why don't I have friends? There must be something wrong with me. And what I'll do is I'll make any given choice in a day, and I will take action on that choice. And then when it doesn't go well, or I start to second guess myself, and I start to think about how, well, maybe if I wasn't such a shitty person, if I had more friends around me, I wouldn't make those stupid decisions, right? Now here comes in my ally, who I'm going to call on every single time I can remember. So, my ally, what would you say about this situation? My ally would say that actually not having so many friends in my life has benefited me in ways that means that I can be independent. That means that I can think for myself and I don't rely on other people. I can get through this life by trusting in my own instincts and my intuition. And the other good thing about it is that, yes, alright, I don't have a best friend. I don't have somebody that I talk to all the time about everything, but I do have people that I talk to all the time. And I actually do feel that they love me, and I love them. And isn't that the most important thing? So, can you see how one feels like shit? Sorry, my apologies for the swearing there. One feels like rubbish, and the other one feels like, I'm okay, there's a reason, there's good here. And I'm friends with myself, and I'm friends with other people, and that's all that matters. I unconditionally love myself. I conditionally love myself when I behave in ways that I want me to behave, or that the world wants me to behave. So how do you in the world, with your own internal thoughts, act as the parasite, and how do you act as the ally? And you'll notice so many different things, and then once you start to actually be mindful and aware of the different narrators that are in your head, one thing to know is that your true self, your most authentic self, is neither of those narrators. It's neither the parasite nor is it the ally. So you are not your thoughts ever. Okay, the true you is not your thoughts, and it seems almost bewildering to think that, right? But you're not. Your true self isn't. But that doesn't mean that your thoughts aren't tools that are helping you to become a better person, depending on whether you're acting from parasite or ally. But your true divine self, your authentic self, is the observer of all of this, and technically is the consciousness that makes up everything. Okay, but it's seeing through your eyes, and that's your authentic self in there, inside. Okay, and so once you've become more aware of when you're using the two narrators, and maybe every time you catch yourself in a parasite conversation with yourself or someone else, you can use it. You can use that parasite, and you can say, okay, how would I say this in my ally body? How would I say this in my ally emotions, in my ally mind? Okay? And then what can start to happen is that you can differentiate yourself, because you're no longer under the influence of domestication now. Okay? All the domestication that's going on in the world that tells you that unless you do this, unless you agree with me and take this what I'm saying as fact, you're not going to be accepted by society. You're not going to be part of this party we're in. Yeah, but this party that we're in as a collective is very drunk, and you wouldn't want to be a part of it. You don't want to be enticed by drunken people that are acting out from foggy mind and domestication. Okay, so once you make this differentiation and you say no to the drunken people, you say, you know what, I can see that, yeah, maybe you're having a good time, maybe you think you're having a good time, but I'm alright where I am. I'm clear, I'm sober, and I feel good where I am. I don't need to be involved in the drama, in the domestication of all the stuff that's going on right now. I'm happy in my peace. I'm happy in my peace. Once that happens, you can see that there's a collective dream of the planet that's going on, and you can choose whether your personal dream aligns with the collective dream or not. Okay? And that's liberating. You're no longer in the system then. What kinds of things does your personal dream relate to the dream of the world? You can find that out, I know a lot of people that want to see this world come to peace, come to love, come to joy. And that's the same dream that I carry in my heart for my own self, for the world. And that is the collective dream that I share. The other stuff in the collective dream, all the problems, the negativity, the pointing the fingers at everyone else, all of that domestication that's going on in the world, it's actually not real. It's a dream. It's a dream. So don't think that just because everyone else is part of this drunken party dream, that you have to be part of it because it's the truth. It's not the truth. It's a dream. And you can wake up from that dream and you can start a new dream. You've been on your own dream for as long as you know. It's just that you've been domesticated, you've been programmed to think a certain way, and now we've been given the tools, you know, to think for ourselves properly and not act from that parasite all the time. As soon as you act from the parasite, as soon as you place someone else under conditions, you're placing yourself under those same conditions, and you're not loving yourself. And if you don't love yourself, you can't progress in life. You're not being your true self anymore. So yeah, think about your personal dream. You know, what does that look like? And just hold that there, and just know that that's your personal dream, and that you can influence other people in the best ways possible when you act out that dream from your ally, from your authentic self as well. So that's it for today, and I will see you in the next video.